Hello and welcome to my second video. Today we're doing an oil change. Now this is my first time doing it alone, so I'll be learning along with you. Stay tuned. Now what I'll be needing for this job is an oil filter, a socket wrench with a 19mm socket, oil 5W30, it can be 5W40 but that's mostly for older engines, and finally the ramps. Now these are rated for 2 tons. I believe the Skoda Octavia Mark 1 is 1.8 tons, so we're good there. You know, always make sure you know the tonnage of your vehicle before getting ramps, because you do not want ramps that are too weak for your specific car. That can be dangerous. Now the other thing is chocks for the back wheels. It can be boulders, but you do get them specifically from Halfords or anything like that. So let's get to it. What you're going to do is you're going to open the bonnet and you're going to come over to the oil fill hole, and you're just going to open it now, and this gets rid of the vacuum that's created when you start to drain the oil. Now I've just made a discovery which is quite concerning. Yeah. Now I have just read up on it. Apparently, if you haven't run your car in a while, which I haven't ran the car in a while, water can condense with the oil on the oil cap and create what is considered mayonnaise. So let's just hope this is not a potential head gasket issue, because that'll be another video and possibly expensive. Okay, so this is what you're going to do now. Once you've done that, you're going to align yourself with the middle of the engine bay, and you're going to come down underneath the car, and you're going to go see the sump plug. Okay, what you should see is the secondary air pump, but my car is quite specific, so you may not have this here. It might be further up in the engine bay, but you're going to identify the sump plug, and you could possibly do this by the sensor here. It's quite obvious. Sometimes there's a guard, plastic guard in the way. You'll have to remove that first. Okay, and then you come over here to locate the drain plug. Just give it a feel, and you'll see this nub here, and this is exactly where the bolt is. So I'll get back to you facing the bolt, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, now that you're under the vehicle, you're going to want to take your oil pan and you're going to roughly put it to where you think the trajectory of the oil will be. Now my idea is here, and then we're going to crack open the bolt, and I will see you then. Okay, now that you're under here, you're going to take your socket wrench, you're going to put it on with the 19mm socket, and you're just going to crack open this bolt. Yep. So once it's loose like this, all you do then is you use your fingers and you get your pan ready. Because this may go everywhere. It's a bit tight. Use the socket wrench again. Now once you've done that, and the bolt is just on the edge of coming away, and use your fingers, you're going to prepare your pan, and you're just going to slowly release it. Okay, there you are. And now you simply just wait for it to drain. Okay, so after taking out the drain plug, you're going to leave it to drain like this for about 5 minutes, and then after that we'll be tackling the oil filter. Okay, if you go from where we were just at, if you go up the way, you will find this cylindrical piece. This right here is the oil filter. Okay, so this is where it's located. So how you can remove them, usually you can get a tool that attaches to your socket, and you can see these little, if you can, little ribbed sections, and that helps the tool grip from the socket. Now there is another tool, and it uses a sort of rubber band system, so it grips the oil filter, and then you leverage it, and it usually comes out this way. Well, I don't have any of those tools, so what I've just done is I've used a screwdriver. Usually you poke a hole through it on its side, but because Skoda's awkward, I've had to poke a hole down the bottom and then leverage it anti-clockwise this way. I don't recommend, it is very messy. Yeah, but we got this off, so now it's time to, yeah, should just come out by hand. Yeah, very, very messy. Skoda's design, absolutely messy. Okay. Oh god. Alright. Now, that's the oil filter off. You're going to want to keep that upright. It's full of oil. The oil filter's job is to filter out any contaminants in the oil, so the engine gets a fresh dose each time you start the car. Now that that's off, we can start to put the drain plug back on, the new oil filter back on, and then we can put some oil in it. I'll see you then. Okay, so once you've done that awfully messy part, it's time to put the drain plug back in. So all you do, just by hand, put it back where it belongs. Get it right in. Until you can't anymore. Now, get your 19mm socket wrench and send it just flush, and then I'll get back to you once I've done that. Okay, now that that's flush, so there's two ways to tighten the drain plug. One is by feel, and then the other is by a torque wrench, which I'll be using, but you know, not everybody has a torque wrench, right? So I'll show you just now. So when you get flush, so basically you can't really turn it anymore without force. You're gonna want to maybe go a 1/4 turn until you really can't push it anymore, and that should be okay. Okay, so obviously don't absolutely wrench it. It's an oil drain plug. It just needs to be somewhat flush, and then about a 1/4 turn if you can manage it, but do not force it. So now that that's ready, we'll be moving on to the oil filter. See ya. Okay, oil filter. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take the old oil and you're going to just lightly oil the gasket here. Okay. Okay, so before you install it, it's important to clean the insertion point and make sure the gasket from your old oil filter isn't stuck onto this. Because if you install your oil filter with the old oil filter's gasket around here, that can cause some leaks. So make sure it's clear of any gasket and free from oil before you install. See you then. Okay, here, so I've loosely fitted the oil filter just to show you. So to install it, it's simply hand tight. It does not need to be any tighter than that. So you rotate this clockwise until it's snug, and then you just give it one last wrench as hard as you can with your hands. Okay, and that should be all you need. So now with that done, it is time to finally do the oil. Now, the oil. What you'll need for the 1.8 turbo is 4.5 litres approximately of oil. I've got 5 litres here. Now that's in, we're going to wait 5 minutes and then we'll be starting the car about 10-15 seconds. This allows the oil to go through the oil filter and fill it up, and then we'll slowly put in the last half a litre. Okay, once you've let it settle for about 5 minutes, it's time to add the last half a litre. Now, as you can see on the bottle here, it has 250, 500 and 750 millilitres. Up here is a litre. We're going to want to take it down to 500 millilitres. And then that'll be our 4.5 litres in total in the engine. So I'll get back to you when I've poured that and move on to the next step. With that complete, you're going to put the oil cap back on. Right, then it's time to start the engine, take it off the ramps, and we'll be moving to flatter ground and checking the true level with the oil dipstick. Because it needs to be on flat level ground, as it's on ramps and a hill, it won't have a true reading. So I'll see you when we're on flat ground. And how you do that is you take it out. You give it a clean first because the engine's been running, and then pop it back in. Give it a second. Take it back out, and you might not see it. Maybe you will. But in this little notch here, it should be roughly the middle. Definitely shouldn't be up here. It definitely shouldn't be below here. Should be nicely in the middle, which it is currently. I've just had it running, so it's a bit, you can't really see it. Try again. Yeah. If you can see that, great. That's what it should look like. And if it does look like that, that concludes the oil change. If you do happen to have too little oil, what you can do is you top it up just minimally until you can get that level sorted. Now, if you have too much oil in it, that's a bit more complicated. You have to get something called a syringe. You can get it from Highland Motor Parts, or you can get it from a certain car parts store. And then what you can do, you put it down the dipstick oil tube, and then you soak the oil until you reach the specified level on that notch there on the dipstick. But other than that, that concludes the video. If you enjoyed it, great. If it helped, brilliant. You can comment so I know where to improve, how to improve. Subscribe if you want. And in the next video, we'll be doing the window regulator. So what happens is you've got a system of wires and pulleys here that has failed, and the window is no longer being suspended. So it has dropped into the door card here, and the button to control it does not work. So hence the duct tape. I've had to suspend it that way, but I will be fixing that in my next video, and then I'll be doing a transmission fluid change somewhere along the line, and a couple of other ideas.